Alright, another Reviewing Network Talks About preview video, and I didn't know if I wanted to do this one this week. I didn't know if I really wanted to cover what we're going to cover here, because I didn't think I could bring too much more to the table for it. It seemed like everybody kind of has their mindset on what I'm going to talk about here, so I thought, I'll take a break here. I'll wait for something to pop up on here online over the next couple of days, maybe some news I can talk about. But nothing really has come up since then, so why not talk about Futurama's big return this week? Monday, of course, Futurama returned for its 8th season, technically its 11th broadcast season, but 8th season in production. This is the first time it's on Hulu, and we're getting 20 new episodes split across 2 release parts, so we're getting 1 new episode every week starting on Monday and continuing all the way through September. And I've talked about Futurama in the past. I did the video talking about the history of animation domination, where Futurama came from. And I said there, Futurama was a great show. Was canceled ahead of its time, and then when it was brought back on Comedy Central, they managed to be much better and much more funnier than they were earlier. And they were really great in the first couple seasons there, but when they went to Comedy Central, they really took off big time. And they ended it on a great, great note. And I was really worried coming into this new season that how are they going to handle this? Like, how are they going to be able to continue doing what made the last seasons of Comedy Central work so well? There was more of a push for more mature storylines. Like you had in the last season, you had Fry having these dreams about seeing his family again, and it led to a really great emotional ending there. Storybrooke found love, and of course in the last episode, Fry and Leela eventually get married after they accidentally caused the timeline to completely freeze, and they grow old together, and it leads to that great moment at the end where Professor Farnsworth, after getting stuck in time, finds them as older and say, you have a chance to go back and restart and redo this all over again, and they basically do that. And that's literally where the episode starts off here for this episode that we're going to talk about. The Impossible Stream is what it's called. Like I said, it's literally set after the events of the last episode. The universe has been frozen in time. Farnsworth has emerged from the time warp and presses the time button to reboot the universe to the moment time stood still. And basically everyone's been frozen for 10 years. They literally say it in there that they've been frozen for 10 years, and Fry takes a look at the calendar. It's 2023 3023, I should say, in this universe. And Fry is shocked by that. He's just like, has it really been 23 years since I've been frozen in time? And he realizes that he hadn't accomplished anything in his whole life. And I was really curious to see, I don't know if it's really set up in the right way, that is whether or not Fry or Leela are still together. Like, are they still getting married? Are they still going to get married at some point here? I'm assuming they are, but I don't know. They didn't really do a good job of handling that. But Fry and Leela do still have that relationship they had in the Comedy Central years of the show, so they still are together. I don't know if they still eventually will get married later on, which we'll wait and see what happens later on. But I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't get that right away. But Fry basically decides that he needs to have a life goal, and he essentially decides to watch every TV show in existence. And he goes to Hulu, which is the Futurama equivalent of Hulu, and he basically starts streaming every single TV show on there. There's parodies of the Great British Bake Off. There's a new version of the Scary Door, the recurring show within the show from Futurama, which is now called Scary Mirror because Black Mirror is popular. And Fry just continues to keep doing this. He streams through every single show except the last 2 seasons of All My Circus, the reboot, and there's over 13,000 episodes he has to watch in order to complete his life goal. And basically, it's a hard thing to do, so they suggest the idea of binging, which is, in this universe, is considered to be kind of a real death sentence. Like, if you binge in this universe, it's not a good thing whatsoever. So they basically put him in this streaming suit, which looks like he's sitting in something like you see in Men in Black, and he goes through all these episodes, but they realize that that he's going to end up getting to the last episode at some point. If he doesn't get out of there before it's too late, like he's gonna like something bad's gonna happen to him. So they basically have to go to Hulu and convince the heads of the streaming service to basically continue the show, basically satirizing themselves, basically getting a 20 episode order, and also having to revitalize Calculon, who has been dead inside hell when we first see him. And the entire second half of the episode is basically dedicated to getting Fry out of the streaming suit, and they basically had to kidnap all the actors and force them to perform as many episodes as they can in order to ease him back into reality. And it turns out that, throughout the course of the episode of that second half, they basically have to keep making so many episodes that they have to do an hour-long episode every hour until it gets to the point where they can get to the last episode. And they keep doing this for a number of episodes, and then the streaming service basically cancels the show. And that's one of the things that kind of bugs me a little bit about this. Basically, that the whole idea that this Futurama's been canceled so many times. They make so many different jokes in this. It gets kind of to the point where it's just like, all right, we get it. You got canceled several times. Can you move on then from that? But basically, what happens is that they kidnap the actors again. They force them to perform the final episode in front of Fry and ease him back into reality. But something happens. The whole place goes up in smoke, and then they think that Fry's dead basically because of that. And Fry, it turns out, never even watched it, because he left the streaming suit 2 days prior to them actually getting there, and basically said that he got bored with the show due to the new episode's low quality and decided to do some reading instead, which really pisses off every single person in that room. And it's actually kind of funny. It's a funny little cop out there. It works pretty well. Like, I have to give him credit for that. The episode as a whole feels like a genuine Futurama episode. It feels like a good Futurama episode, I should say. It's a really funny episode. It does have those moments where the jokes do get a little predictable and a little forced onto you. Like I said, the whole thing about being canceled so many times, it's brought up several times in this episode. It's just like, all right, we get it. You got canceled. Can you move on, please? And it actually does end on a really good note. It ends on a good note where Fry goes to this Congress where you saw President Richard Nixon. He's basically going in there talking about his experience of binging and why some people should not be binging so much. Like, some people have to be, basically they have to keep their binging going one episode at a time, like 10 episodes at the maximum, because wink wink, they're getting 10 episodes to start off the episode on. And the basic message is, it's about how it's good for shows to end, for fans to take a break, and it's a really good, well done storyline, and it feels a little tacked on, honestly, but at the same time, it's not bad. It's a well made storyline. It's a good element add to there. It does feel kind of pointless in the end, but it does end up working out in the end, and it makes for a very entertaining piece there. And the show Futurama does have the right to be topical, especially now that 10 years have gone by and the world has changed big time. And this is just the beginning of some of the stuff they're going to be covering here. As you see some of the episodes coming up, you have stuff like them tackling cancel culture. They're going to tackle COVID. They're going to tackle stuff that has happened, new advances in technology in the last couple of years. And wouldn't be surprised if we eventually see them do something like AI. That should be something that should be coming up pretty soon. So there's a lot that they can do here, and the possibilities are endless. And I think that with the same people that they've had on board here from the original show, you can definitely tell that there's going to be hope that this will continue to be something that will continue of quality over the next couple of episodes that we have here. And like I said, I think this is a very solid opener. I think it does a very good job of easing everybody back in. It shows that Futurama is willing to adapt, just like to some of the stuff that we've discovered since the last time we saw these characters. And it's a very good episode. It's a very solid episode. Most of the jokes work pretty well. Some of the story elements are not that strong, honestly, but at the same time, you still get a lot of enjoyment out of it. You still get a lot of everything that makes Futurama so great. There's still a lot of questions that need to be answered, but that's why we've got these 10 episodes coming up here to basically see where everything is from what the last time we've seen these characters. As far as bringing the show back, right now it's off to a pretty good start with this first episode, but of course we need to see what happens with the episodes to come, and I would definitely recommend this. This is still it's good Futurama. It's not the great Futurama that the last season ended on. I think the last season so far is the peak of the show. But then again, it's been over 10 years since these guys got together to do something like this, so we still got to see what happens here. And it will start off slow, but maybe it'll grow. Maybe it'll grow eventually afterwards. I mean, Animaniacs started off slow, honestly, the one they did for Hulu. But in the second and third seasons, they really were putting out some really great stuff. But unfortunately, that got canceled. But for Futurama, I think right now it's off to a really good start. I think there's a lot there that could be really exciting to see, and like to see them tackle. But once again, it's great to have the voice cast back in here. Billy West is really good in this episode. He really shows his range as an actor here, and he's been doing it now for a good long time. I mean, almost over 45 years now, pretty much doing these voices. And guy still has it, man. He's still a really damn good voice actor, and he really does a great job with this episode. Of course, it's great to see Katie Seagal back as Leela, John DiMaggio as Bender, Phil LaMarr as Hermes, of course, Lauren Tom as Amy, Maurice LaMarche back as Calculon, Tress MacNeille, David Herman. I mean, just a great cast that they have here. It's great to have them back. It's great to have the show back. We're off to a great start with the first episode, but it's definitely a good start, I should say. Not a great start, but at the same time, there's nothing bad about this episode all around. It's not a bad opener at all. It's still a very solid opener, and like I said, I'm really excited to see where they go from there. And yeah, I really recommend it. If you haven't seen Futurama in a while, now's a good time to go back and check it out, because it's definitely starting off on a good note. So let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think of the Futurama opener? How do you feel about the show? Do you agree with me that the peak seasons were the Comedy Central years, and do you think this is the start of something that could be really good? Yeah, let me know down below, and check out some of the other videos I've done, just check them out. So if you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button, and also don't forget to subscribe to the Reviewing Network Live. We've got some content on there that's exclusive there, and stuff coming up pretty soon, including our test preview in a couple of weeks, and of course the regular show starts on September 3rd, so definitely be on the lookout for those. Thank you guys for watching this video, and hope I gave you something pretty good here. So until the next time I see you, take care.